Invocation. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom.
O hidden life, vibrant in every atom.
O hidden light, shining in every creature.
O hidden light, shine in every creature.
O hidden love, embracing all in oneness.
O hidden love, embracing all in oneness.
May all who feel themselves as one with Thee
May all who feel themselves as one with Thee
know they are therefore one with every other.
know they are one.
Please be seated, brethren. On behalf of the Madras Theosophical Federation, so let me first of all welcome all of you on behalf of the Madras Theosophical Federation. Under this federation, there are many lodges, and after pandemic, we are reviving various lodges and also the members whom we lost touch with. So obviously, many of you must have received calls from us inviting you to come to this meeting today. And today we have designed our meeting in such a way that the new members are introduced to the principles and basics of the Theosophy. And of course, it's like a sweet and lime. How much you take this juice of Theosophy, you want it more. It's never sour or never too sweet. So those who have heard, it is good to hear again. Those who are hearing for the first time, is always even more sweet. So, and we have today two eminent speakers and very senior brethren who are going to speak about these principles of Theosophy. They are going to introduce certain books as well. We have got certain pamphlets and books. We are focusing on a book called Theosophic Life, which you can pick up, especially those new members who have joined the society. They can pick up the books, or we might be giving you if you are coming onto the stage. And then there are also a host of other material that is available for you for your guidance, but I think there is a strategic introduction and a path that leads us towards the study of Theosophy. So that means that we are actually going from abstract thoughts, abstract discussions to a very focused content about Theosophy, which is the core concept. So having said that, I would be inviting the first speaker, but let me introduce the first speaker. We have two speakers, Dr. R. Revathy and Professor C. A. Shinde. They are very senior members. Let me introduce Dr. R. Revathy. Revathy is a veteran. She is a legend here in the Theosophical Society campus. She was born and brought up. She comes from the Theosophical family. She was born and brought up here. She grew here, and she studied in the Besant Theosophical High School, and she is a doctor by profession, and she served the Tamil Nadu Medical Services for more than 30 years in fact, and she specialized in pediatrics, child health, nutrition, and also public health. She received Best Performance Award for her contribution in national health programs, which are still continuing, but she received the Best Performing Award, especially for her work done in rural areas. And she also got appreciation from many hospitals for her service that is carried out in Chennai. She has been in All India Radio and Doordarshan answering the public health issues as well, and that way she is very prominent, well known. And now she works in TS, she heads the TS dispensary. She is associated with the Theosophical Order of Service, the Mystic Star, and many other activities that are carried out in the campus here. So I will not stand more between her and you. I would like to invite Dr. R. Revathy to address all of us. Thank you.
Respected and dear brothers and sisters, I am greatly privileged to participate in this Madras Theosophical Federation meeting today. I am very much thankful to Brother Vinay Kumar Patri for having given me this opportunity to share with you my understanding of certain important theosophical teachings. We are proud members of this great organization, the Theosophical Society, which proclaims Theosophy, the divine wisdom, to the entire world, irrespective of race, caste, creed, color, or gender. Thus, active and devoted membership in Theosophical Society includes the serious attempt to grasp the fundamental teachings of Theosophy. Not only this, but regular participation in the work of the Theosophical Society in our lodges, federations, and centers is very much necessary. We must remember that earnest, unceasing, unselfish work for great cause is one of the surest way to lay a solid foundation for spiritual life. So it should be clearly understood that we intend to kindle the spirit of universal brotherhood in each and every person in the world. Theosophy and universal brotherhood is synonymous and inseparable. No other institution in the world has spread the message of universal brotherhood in such a big way. And we owe this success to the great founders of the Theosophical Society, Madam H.V. Blavatsky and Colonel Henry Steele Olcott, and also to successive presidents till today, and also enlightened and tireless workers of the society. We must understand that we are not only members of the Theosophical Society, but more importantly, we are students of Theosophy. We shoulder greater responsibility of spreading the message of Theosophy after having a good knowledge of principle and tenets. By Theosophical studies, our life must grow naturally with fresh energy and determination amidst the trials of the moment to carry out in everyday life. We must progress from one stage to another, not alone, but with co-members, new entrants, and we must proceed slowly and steadily, step by step, from simple to deep, from known to unknown, with guidance of our elder brethren. Theosophical principles are applicable to one and all. We have members from different states, nations, different culture, different racial and economic strata, different educational and intellectual background, different age groups, and finally, people of different temperaments. So we must bring them all together in spirit of brotherhood and service to humanity. Here in the Theosophical Society, the inspiration is very great, and we must rise in life, and there should not be any fall. We Theosophists cannot pretend that we do not know, because on every side the knowledge is pouring on us. With these advantages of knowledge and knowing, our doing ought to be better than the doing of the majority around us. Unless we can justify Theosophy in life, lest we profess ourselves to be Theosophists, the better. Thus, my brothers and sisters, we are students, learners. We must study, listen, and attend the meetings and participate in our large meetings, federation, camps, gatherings, conventions and congresses, and we must increase our receptivity and assimilate the teachings, and we must do our best to spread among our fellow human beings, our brothers, the knowledge of theosophical truths. With what measure you meter, it shall be measured onto you again. The more you pour out to others, the more shall be poured into yourself. Such is the law. It is great task indeed. We have the blessings of our masters of the wisdom. We have our TS motto, object, and other tenets put forth. And Dr. Annie Besant, the second president of the Theosophical Society, a diamond soul with multifaceted services to humanity, very well points out to us that universal brotherhood, reincarnation, karma, and service are the ideas which must penetrate or filter into our minds. The proper understanding of these ideas are the initial and fundamental steps to lead a theosophical life. And you all know the Theosophical Society has 3 objects, but it surely has only a single purpose. What is that? That is to uplift humanity from moral and spiritual point of view. The first one is to form a nucleus of universal brotherhood of humanity without distinction of race, color, gender, caste, or creed. Brotherhood is not a mere concept, but a reality. The reality of its existence must be understood by knowing that absolute essence from which all starts and to which everything returns. All through creation, sustenance, and dissolution, life is supported by the self. In this context, I would like all of us to remember the ageless advice by Sri Krishna to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. Matta parataram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya mayi sarvamitam protam sutre manigana iva. Apart from me, there is nothing in this universe, Dhananjaya. I exist in and through all manifestation as the thread that holds together the jewels in a garland. Thus the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita that He supports all life in the universe as a thread that runs through several gems to make it a chain. The realization of indivisibility of existence is the aim of true religion. Madam HBB says that religion per se is that which unites all beings into one whole. It is not something which divides, no. So the experience of unity is a religious experience, and this perception is very much necessary. We must develop this quality of mind and reflect by constant introspection. Our late International President Radhaji clearly mentions, when we reflect well, it should not be difficult to realize that universal brotherhood without distinctions of any kind is a revolution in consciousness. It is the one thing which will change humanity and bring it to a new level of existence. So, brothers and sisters, as a student of Theosophy, we must not only understand this object, but very much feel the brotherhood of people. Only when this feeling of brotherhood is strongly implanted in our hearts, then we will not think of any differences whatsoever, and will be able to rise above these limitations and try to serve humanity as a whole. Then we will come to second object, that is to encourage the study of comparative religion, philosophy, and science. Theosophy is not a religion. by itself. We are made to understand that we continue to be the member of our own religion in better manner through a new light of Theosophy. Theosophy deeply studies all religions, takes the best from each of them and compares it with the best from other religions. This is a journey towards the absolute truth, Paramartha Satyam. It believes that truth is above all religions. Satyam Nasti Paro Dharma, the beautiful motto of the Theosophical Society. Madam HBB, in her famous book, Secret Doctrine, defines Theosophy as synthesis of religion, philosophy and science. All three are avenues to truth and valid roads to single point. Truth is of primary importance in our lives for what we see and conditions what we do. When we do something foolish, discordant or cruel, it is because we fail to see correctly. If we see the truth in the ultimate sense of term, which is the same as realizing the unity and knowing the nature of love, then all our actions and relationship are bound to change qualitatively. This fact has been emphasized in the Orient, when no differences existed between religion and philosophy, and the teachers have pointed out that seeing rightly is essential because the effect it has got on one's action. We may recall here a well-known illustration from Vedanta. In the darkness, a person mistakes a coiled rope for snake, ignorance of the truth. Here the rope causes the fear. Once truth, the knowledge of the rope is realized, fear of the snake vanishes. The emotions, thoughts that arose from seeing the snake cannot arise when it is realized that what is seen is only a rope. Nothing can be more right than the statement, truth shall make you free. Truth shall make you free. Thus, we must understand that the second object is not concerned mere with speculative thinking or academic discussion, which are unrelated to the problems of the world or to us as individuals. The second object directs us towards removal of ignorance, lifting the mind out of unrealities in which it lives. This object also teaches that it is meant to bring about fundamental change or human regeneration. The third object is to investigate the hidden laws of nature and powers latent in man. This is perhaps the most important aspect. Theosophy believes in the divine plan, which controls nature and spiritual powers which are hidden in man and which can be invoked and utilized for good of humanity. Thus, the most inspiring and illuminative idea that Theosophy has given to the modern world is that of working out of a great plan and some kind of intelligence at work behind this natural phenomenon. And we must believe that everything is manifestation, right from solar system to a grain of dust. Everything is governed by the law, and it is part of the great plan which is gradually unfolding itself in the universe in a different parts at different times. All natural laws are an expression of divine intelligence. They are unchangeable and intransgressible. Knowledge of the laws has power to accelerate progress. We must understand how this great stream of evolution proceeds and what the great design is. The divine architect uses the whole manifest universe for the working out of its plan, dividing his work to various systems and planets for proper fulfillment of the work or task carried on stupendously well, intimately related to whole scheme and fit in a perfect manner. And I can say in modern words, we can call it a great and marvelous networking taking place with utmost order around us in nature. We must realize that in the world, man sometimes thinks that he can work outside this law because he does not try to understand it. This object of the Theosophical Society implies the study not only nature in its outer manifestation, but of the relationship of all things. For all law is a statement of relationship. The understanding of ourselves is connected with the understanding of laws and forces at work behind them. In carrying out general scheme of the divine architect, the TS provides a body of workers who are in particularly favorable position to give necessary lead in initiating and shaping the movements for reform and to enable humanity to take the next step in evolution. There is much ignorance in the world regarding the plan, method of evolution, the laws, etc. The forces of prejudice, conservatism, selfishness are still dominant. So, in At the Feet of the Master, one of the three gems which you are going to hear, that anyone who has a glimpse of the plan, the splendor behind the process of life, cannot help working for it, standing for the good, resisting evil, working for evolution and not for selfishness. Thus, my brothers and sisters, it seems to me that to make the work of the society effective, we must see the connection between the three objects of the TS and the interrelation between the three objects to the unfoldment of human consciousness and upliftment of humanity. The history of the TS is very clear on this point. One thing for which it is founded is to help the true progress of humanity. True progress of humanity. To put it very briefly and generally, we are aiming at changing the thoughts and attitudes of the people in the world, so that humanity may be able to take the next step in evolution, and it may be possible to lay the foundation of the future step that lie ahead, near or far, as the divine planner considered it necessary. Next, quickly, let us understand the two great doctrines, very, very important, reincarnation and karma. For this, we need greater strength, patience, and absence of hurry. Of course, absence of hurry is not very characteristic of modern life. One of the marks of life, just as in a boat where there is danger of wreck, there is panic and struggle. So, with all those who believe in that nightmare of an everlasting hell and the dream of an everlasting heaven, this element of hurry enters into the life. So much to do, such vast issues, so brief a time, life becomes struggle. Samsara sagara, we have to swim the ocean of life, samsara. We must have belief in reincarnation. It is rebirth, the descent of human soul in successive physical bodies, repeated entering into a fleshy or physical covering. Each man has to pass through many lives, returning into earth again and again, dwelling each time in the different earthly bodies according to his own karma, whereby each reaps whatever he has sown in previous lives. Ancient meaning, the belief in reincarnation is that when the cycle of rebirth was over, the man had become perfect, become strong pillar in the temple of God, a great temple of humanity, no more to go out, but to support the temple as a mighty upholding strength. Splendid idea of salvation, but not a salvation of petty individual as we think. So, we must realize that we have many chances, endless opportunities, every failure brings success a little nearer. Last failure is the threshold of success, then a great strength grows into our life. Fall of today is the rising of tomorrow, and slowly the thought of reincarnation becomes a part of us, principle to be lived. So, what are the principles? We find our life takes on calmness, the serenity which comes from the consciousness of immortal life. Second, we are living one day out of many days, and what we cannot do today, tomorrow we inevitably achieve. Might is the power of it. When once it is fully recognized and feel that there is something beyond our strength will gradually evolve. Not only these things, but with our friends we have closer tie. But instead of friends, we meet our enemy. How different the aspect when we know the truth of reincarnation. Enemy is someone to whom we have wronged in the past, to whom we owe a debt, and he comes forward to claim it. This payment set us free. He is the liberator, not an enemy. He gave us opportunity of paying off a debt. No anger, no resentment, save gratitude to the one who takes from us the payment of ancient debt and leaves us free to go along our road. So none can injure us. Strike is our own hand, striking our own face. Our own actions comes up in a new incarnation. If you are angry with ourselves, there is no enmity when one's reincarnation is thoroughly understood. These hurts are not injuries, but resentment. It will only help to bring you in equilibrium of all ancient wrong. Reincarnation also makes us realize that the circumstances around us are exactly those that are best for our growth and evolution. People say sometimes, if only my circumstances were different, I could lead such a much more useful life. Error, wrong thoughts. You are surrounded by exactly the things you want for the next step on the upward path or journey. If there is ill feeling, sorrow, confusion in the family, that is exactly the situation wanted to teach you patience. Or in the business that interferes, that is the thing you want to bring out the qualities in which you are deficient. Circumstances around you are the very best. You can plan for your unfolding and for your growth. That is not all the benefit which grows out of real understanding of reincarnation. It gives infinite tolerance, infinite patience with all around us. We must remember that universe is God's thought. He is manifesting in at every point. The attitude of the Theosophist should always be that of a learner in life. The questions we must answer ourselves are, what has this man or that circumstance to teach me? What have I to learn from this problem? How to solve? How to face it? So in this way, we should look at the life and doing, so we would be interested in it, and then we will have no time to judge or blame or finding fault with others' work, and our life would begin to be the life of wisdom. So in another few minutes, we will just go through karma. Next, we must understand the doctrine of karma. Most of you know about this, but Dr. Annie Besant points out that it is one of the misunderstood of Theosophical teachings. We need to remember how karma is made up and judge it by what we know and not by what we fancy. People often talk about karma as though it were a kind of great lump which is flung down on man's head at birth, against which he can do nothing. Sometimes this occurs, but in the majority of cases, this karma that you are making every day is modifying all the results of the karma of the past. It is a continuing creation, not something lying in wait for us. It is not a sword hanging over us that may drop on us at any moment. One way of appreciating this practically is to remember the karmic law. Thought makes character, desire, opportunity, activity, and environment. When you look back over and any one day, you will find that your thoughts are mixed, some useful, some mischievous. If you had to strike the balance, the resultant of the intermingling of all those thoughts in the karmic stream might be very difficult to determine. So with the desires, part of the day we desire nobly, part of it badly, sometimes wisely, sometimes stupidly. So the resultant of your day's desire also, if it is not easy to see, but it will certainly be very mixed. So with your actions, some hasty words, some kind, some gentle, some harsh, very mixed. Once more, the study of one day will prove to us that we are creating mixed karma, and that it is ought to say whether the outcome is for good or otherwise. Karma is always in the making. Whatever the condition, make the best of it for the moment, and it scales against you to be too heavy. Never mind. You have done your best, and that will have gone into the other scale, then more equal for the whole of your future. Exertion is always wise. Then you have diminished the weight against you. Effort has its full result. And the wise you are, better you can think, desire and act. Better you can think, desire and act. So if you think of karma, thus it will never paralyze you, but always inspires you. You can sometimes trick the destiny where you could not meet it face to face. When sailing against winds, the sailor cannot change the set of sails. No, the direction of ship depends on the relation of the sails to the wind. By careful tackling, you can very nearly sail against the contrary wind, and by little extra labor, reach your port safely. So if you cannot change your fate, change yourself, meet it at different angles, and you will go gliding away successfully where failure seems to be inevitable. You can only bow down before it, yield, even then learn from it. Out of the destiny, you will gather flower of wisdom. So in every way, we find that we can meet, conquer, and even from defeat, we might pluck the flower of victory. Thus, my brothers and sisters, we have learned and understood to some extent the Theosophical life. The Lodge is epitome of the society as a whole, and we members must remember our duty and also responsibility towards Theosophical society, and let us pray, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Let us together try our best to lift a little of the heavy karma of the world. Let us serve humanity. Service is a great illuminator. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Revathy. That was a very insightful demonstration of the study that we could take up from various books, references and material that she has given to us, with a special focus on certain books and also the objects and various other concepts like karma, reincarnation. So, we will continue this journey today with yet another speaker, very prominent, Professor C. Shinde. He is a retired zoology professor who worked at Sangli and Pune for more than 37 years. He is author of textbooks in zoology for undergraduate students for their reference and study, and he has been a life member of the Theosophical Society. He joined the organization in 1975, and then since then he worked for the Federation, Marathi Federation. He has been the president for 2 terms, and he has conducted several seminars, workshops, study classes, and he has been touring across India as a national lecturer. And he writes as well. His articles were published in many journals of theosophical journals like the Indian Theosophist, the Theosophist, the Theosophical Digest, and Wake Up India, and many other Federation journals. And he has compiled the work, the watchtower articles written by Dr. Radha, Mrs. Radha Bernier, our former president, which is published as a book titled The World Around Us. Now he is a resident in Adyar, and he has been associated with various departments. He has been heading the editorial office, is also associated with Adyar Library and Research Center, and he is currently the secretary of the Olcott Memorial High School, and also participate in various activities that Theosophical Society conducts. So, I would like to invite Professor C. Shinde to address us.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. I express my sincere thanks to first speaker, Dr. Revathy, who has created a beautiful atmosphere. Atmosphere in the sense, we have raised to understand something, and we have become at least a learner now. It is the introductory session, as Vinay Patri said, for the new members, and I am asked to speak on the 3 gems of Theosophy: At the Feet of the Master, Voice of the Silence, and Light on the Path. Of course, these 3 books I have with me. This is the At the Feet of the Master, this is Light on the Path, and this is the Voice of the Silence. These are the small books. They are small in size, but lot of things is hidden in it. Actually, these books, 3 books, before I start with this, I must sincerely thank to Madras Theosophical Federation and Adyar Lodge and Gandhinagar Lodge members who have organized these 2 lectures, introductory lectures, and these are very necessary. Many people they ask who are entering into the Theosophy, what is Theosophy? Is it a science? Is it a religion? Is it a philosophy? Then in that way you can say boldly, it is the synthesis of science, religion and philosophy. It is the science of spirit. It is the religion of responsibility, and it is the philosophy of perfection. So, if you have this kind of conviction in yourself, then you can understand well, and you are not carried by other thoughts as such. Well, I concentrate on these 3 books. As I said, 3 theosophical classics. These are the gems. At the Feet of the Master, written by Alghion. It is the earlier name, now J. Krishnamurti will know. Then the Voice of the Silence, written by H.P. Blavatsky, and The Light on the Path by Mabel Collins. See, all these 3, J. Krishnamurti, H.P. Blavatsky and Mabel Collins. I say Alcyon, he was the disciple of the master. HPB was also a disciple of the master, and Mabel Collins was also a disciple of the master. So, each master has given some instructions to these disciples, and disciple is one who follows the teachings, and accordingly whatever teaching is given at the feet of the master to Alcyon, it is helpful in the preliminary stages to undergo the first initiation. Of course, again initiation here, change in dimension. It is not the just a progress, but it is a change in our dimension, it is a change in our outlook. So, the first book, At the Feet of the Master, helps us, if you study deeply, it helps us to, it prepares us to enter into the path and go towards the first initiation. Then comes the Voice of the Silence. As I said, it is HPB, but behind HPB there is a master who has given these instructions, and these instructions are very helpful to make you perfect As I said, Theosophy is a philosophy of perfection. So you become a perfect, you become an adept if you really read this book, Voice of the Silence, and take these teachings to your heart. And then Mabel Collin, this book is a really, really wonderful book that takes you beyond Arhat stage to the Mahachohan stage. These are the dimensions of the initiations. And what I want to point out here, these are the books which reveal the truth. They have revealed the truth. You begin with the At the Feet of the Master, then read the Voice of the Silence, and you keep this light on the path throughout your journey. It is leading, how to lead the path, that is what it is said. So these three classics are absolutely important for our progress, especially what it is said in Theosophic life, because truth is revealed and guidance is given by the masters to the disciple. So we have not yet met our master, because we have not prepared ourselves to be fit to be a disciple. So when you become fit, when you prepare yourselves and ready, the master will come to you. So these gems of the Theosophy, as I said, let us take this at the feet of the master. What it is said, it is very simple. In the beginning only it is said there are only two kinds of people, those who know and those who do not know that the God has a plan, and that plan is evolution. So in this divine plan, evolution is a cosmic movement or force which helps for the unfoldment of consciousness in all things. And therefore, those who know make themselves one with the plan, because the plan is so glorious, so beautiful, and therefore they know they are on the God side, standing for the good, resisting evil, working for the evolution and not for the selfish purpose. So this is what the very first instruction that really inspires us. There are two kinds of people, those who know and those who do not know. So it becomes our responsibility to know what is this divine plan and what is this evolution, how it helps in unfoldment of consciousness. So this becomes our responsibility. Then in general, there are four introductory paths. Next slide. Yes. There are four introductory paths. If you want to really enter the path, at the feet of the master helps us to enter the path. And these four introductory paths are: number one, companionship of those already on the path of occultism, which we call in Sanskrit as satsanga. So be with those people who know the truth, and that will be greater beneficial for us. That is the first part or necessary qualification to enter into the spiritual life. Second is hearing and reading of teachings on the subject, that is inculcate the art of study. Third, enlightened reflection, that means hard thinking, reflection, contemplation. Profound reflection is required. You may read 5 minutes, but you reflect it for the whole day. Then last one, the practice of the virtue, which is nothing but learn to see good in all, or goodness. Look into the goodness of all. Next slide is 4 qualifications are required for the entering the path. That is what it is shown in the, I am going in brief, of course. 4 qualifications: discrimination, desirelessness, good conduct and love. These are so connected. If you discriminate what is real and unreal, then definitely you don't desire that which is unreal. So naturally desirelessness comes, and when there is discrimination and desirelessness, then your behavior will be definitely a good behavior. So good conduct naturally follows, and once the good conduct naturally follows, what is that good conduct after all? It is to love everyone, that is the radiating love. This is how all these four qualifications are connected to each other. But discrimination is very important. Even if it is the first step, you must learn to discriminate. If you see clearly, there is no choice. That is what J. Krishnamurti afterwards said. So why he said? Because he was able to see clearly, and therefore there is no question of choice, and therefore he predicted this choiceless awareness, attentiveness, alertness, effortless effort. All these are, they came to him, this vision came to him because he followed all these instructions very seriously. So in discrimination, right and wrong, important and unimportant, all these are the steps. Useful or not useful, true or false, real or unreal, all these things, they come step by step in our life. So then when we come to this discrimination after desirelessness, it is clearly stated, try to know, try to dare, and try to will, and afterwards be silent. Desirelessness is very difficult task. And the same thing is said in the Light on the Path, what to desire and what not to desire. Then the good conduct, as you know, it is more important, is given to the thought. Krishnamurti said, importance of thought and how you must learn to think, and you must think not just carried by the thoughts which are around us. So if your thought is what it should be, you will have little difficulty in your action. That is what the statement you can find in the, at the feet of the master. This is a very important statement. If your thought is what it should be, you will have little difficulty in your action. It means you don't have any difficulty in your life, but you have little difficulty in your action if your thought is what it should be. And our thought is not the same thought, again it is flickering. So that is what instruction is given. And then when we come, if we keep our control our thought, we control our mind, and if we control our mind, we control our life, and when we control our life, we reach to the destiny. This is how the good conduct helps. Then come to the love. Love, here instruction is given. There are three sins of love which you must remember. One is the gossip, second is the cruelty, and third is the superstitions. We know very well, I am not going to explain this, but this gossip itself pollutes our own mental atmosphere. So we cannot meditate then. If we are gossiping, it pollutes our mental atmosphere. Second sin of love is cruelty. Cruelty pollutes the human civilization. So whatever cruelty is going on, that is very bad, very sin to our civilization. So it pollutes human civilization. And superstitions, of course, they hinder the human progress of the humanity. So in this way, the three sins of the love is explained in this at the feet of the master. So with this, you can go through that book, at the very small book at the feet of the master. It is very small book, but it makes you a serious person in life. You start reading your own book of life. That is what Krishnamurti later on wrote. Then next is the voice of the silence. And the voice of the silence, I think next slide you can focus. That is the to benefit us. To benefit mankind is the first step. So we must live for the not for oneself but for the others. And the messenger can only deliver the message to those who are vibrationally matched to the message. So don't stress yourself out saying things to people who can't hear you. So it is said, you must match your vibrations, you must tune with the surrounding, and it is the man only who cannot tune with the surrounding. Otherwise, all plants, animals, everything, creatures are in tune with the surrounding. It is the human being, because of his psyche, he is not able to tune. So the message, the messenger can only deliver the message to those who are vibrationally matched. So whatever message is given in the voice of the silence, it touches you if you tune with that message. So that is what the important. And the next slide just shows the voice of the silence. I have here, this is the HPB's own copy, and she has signed it, and this own copy is very important and it is preserved in our archives. So in short, voice of the silence, the whole philosophy of HPB's life is summed up and therefore described as the great thing in modern theosophical literature. We all are ever grateful to H.P. Blavatsky for the great truth of life she has revealed us. Rather, she has brought us as a message. There is a great similarity in the teaching contained in the voice of the silence and the teaching in the Vedanta. I am pointing out this because HPB always says about origin of the book that she derived information from the book of the golden precepts written for mystic students. So it is dedicated for the few mystics. The maxims and ideas contained in this book are found under different forms, particularly in Upanishads and Gita. There would be little reason to wonder how she referred the Jnaneshwari. You might have heard in Maharashtra, Jnanadev, Jnaneshwari, whatever he has written, it is in old Marathi language. It is not even normal Marathi, it is a old Marathi language, which is not Sanskrit work, but was written in Marathi in the 13th century of our era. She also refers this. There is also reference to the Yogacharya school of the Mahayana. It is also said the origin of the book has its connection with the book of Dhyana, with the, I will take, no problem. And the master Jwalkul assisted for writing this book. That is what it is said. As I said in the early, behind all these three books, three gems, there is a master who has given certain hints for the new era, which started through the foundation of the Theosophical Society. And in this book, each fragment of the book, if you see, there are three fragments. Fragment 1 is titled as the voice of the silence, fragment 2 is titled as the two paths, and fragment 3 the seven portals. Why it is fragmented? The book, whole book is fragmented. They are not connected in the sense they have some meaning in it. The first part is voice of the silence, and then in the fragment 2 there are two paths, and in fragment 3 there are seven portals to pass on. So these are the certain points I would like to point out from the voice of the silence. Each fragment of the book consists of about 100 verses. The first two fragments are of preparatory nature, leading up to the third, and the third fragment deals with the seven paramitas or perfections. The first fragment is mainly concerned with the making the distracted mind, calm mind by passing through 3 halls, from the hall of ignorance through hall of learning to the hall of wisdom. Aspirant prepares himself to discover his own path. Each one has his own temperament, and therefore there is a path to each temperament which is to be discovered by oneself. Then the second fragment deals with the 2 paths. One is the path of liberation from limitations, and the other is the path of O or renunciation, that is path of living to benefit the mankind, to live to benefit the mankind. So, without such right vision, treading the path becomes impossible, and therefore he should find 7 golden keys to 7 portals or 6 paramitas or 6 perfection. So, if one asks, what is the theme of this book? Tell me in one sentence. Then it is described, mind is the great slayer of the real. Let the disciple slay the slayer. So, what she writes? She writes, mind is the great slayer of the real. Let the disciple slay the slayer. You think over it deeply. Which mind is slayer of the real? It is the Kama Manasa which is the slayer of the real. So, Kama Manasa must be transcended so that we can enter into the Buddhi Manasa that leads to the unity. This is what I want to tell about the voice of the silence. Then last third gem is the light on the path. This is very interesting, and even Radha Barnier always speaks on the light on the path. It is very nice to read light on the path. There are 4 rules. These 4 rules are very great rules. And these 4 rules, if you read, they are very important in the sense, the first rule says, before the eyes can see, they must be incapable of tears. Well, tears come when there is sorrow, when there is pain, and tears also come when we become happy, joyous. So, both when we become either sorrow or pleasure, both they bring tear in our eyes. So, it indicates we must go beyond pleasure and pain. So, that shows the ability of sight. Before the ear can hear, it must have lost its sensitiveness. This is ability of true hearing, the hearing to that sound which is voiceless. Otherwise, our ears are very much accustomed to get distracted by the outer sounds, but we must learn and in tune with inner tuning that gives us ability to true hearing. Then before the voice can speak in the presence of the master, it must have lost the power to wound. Our tongues are very sharp, and when we talk, they give pleasure somebody and also hurt somebody. So, that ability of true speech, your speech should be kind, beneficial and true. Then before the soul can stand in the presence of the master, its feet must be washed in the blood of heart. That is the true ability to stand before the master. Otherwise, we can ask questions to the master also. Have you gained that ability to stand before the master? That is what question we must ask to ourselves. Then there are 21 rules. In part 1, there are 21 rules. I just read those rules. Even when we read, that is a common reading, you can listen this. I am not explaining, but it inspires something. It makes us to think more. So, all these instructions or all these rules are thought provoking. It says kill out ambition, kill out desire of life, kill out desire of comfort. Well, we can kill the ambition, desire of life, desire of comfort, but again it says, number 4, work as those work who are ambitious, respect life as those do who desire it, and be happy as those who live for happiness. So, this is how something paradoxical statements. So, how to deal with these paradoxical statements when you read this Light on the Path is left to you. Think over it. Then again it says kill out all sense of separateness, kill out desire for sensation, kill out the hunger for growth, and again rule number 8 says, yet stand alone and isolated, because nothing can aid you which is separate, which is embodied, and which is within the limit of time. So, all these rules, 7 rules, they are asking to kill out. At the same time, you must be calm. You should not be depressed. Otherwise, if you kill the desire, you may go to the extreme to suicide. If there is no desire to live, then what is the important to live? So, you must not go to that extent. Then part 1, as I said, first 7 rules we are asked to kill out desire, because it reduces our I-ness, it reduces our selfishness. Then rule number 9 to 15, we are asked to desire certain things. It is not saying only kill out the desire, but also it asks to desire some things. And those desires are, desire only that which is within you, desire only that which is beyond you, desire only that which is unattainable and unobtainable. So, high aim is always better, low aim is crime. In that, desire all such things which are unobtainable and unattainable. And in the 12th it says, because within you is the light of the world. If you are unable to perceive it within you, it is useless to look for it elsewhere. Then going to the next 21 rules, that is part 1, 13, 14, 15. Again it says what to desire. Desire power ardently, desire peace fervently, desire possessions above all, but counter it says, but those possessions must belong to the pure soul only. You desire only that what your soul is desiring. What your soul is desiring? Everybody's soul is desiring to liberate. So, it is longing for the liberation. It has caught in the material world. So, all those possessions must belong to the pure soul only. Then 17, 18, 19, seek out the way by retreating within, and seek out the way by advancing boldly without. This is very nice. You must be bold enough to go within and also go without, and seek it not by any one road, because for each temperament there is one road. So, each man is to himself absolutely the way, the truth, the life. Seek it by the study of laws of being, laws of nature, laws of supernatural also. And then, yes, in part 2 we can go. Part 2 is there? Yeah. I am not going to say all those rules. Number 1, 2, 3 in part 2. Of course, there is these rules. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. These are the metaphors of warrior. As already said, let your soul be the warrior, and these rules 1, 2, 3, they are the metaphors of warrior. And 5, 6, 7, metaphor of music. light of the path says, it is a song of life. Life is a song and not a cry. So 9, 10 and 11 rules urge to look around and within. 15, 16, 17 instruct us to inquire about secrets, and 20 and 21 deals with our response to those secrets, and down I have given those are the notes of the master. Finally, within you is the light of the world, the only light that can be shed upon the path. If you are unable to perceive it within you, it is useless to look for it elsewhere. It is beyond your, because when you reach it, you have lost yourself. It is unattainable because it forever recedes. You will enter the light, but you will not never touch the flame. Well, I will end my talk with the last slide. Look here, the whole Theosophy, because it is an introductory session, it is said you must be self-reliance. We are all souls and not the bodies. So here it is written in Atma, Buddhi, Manasa, senses and body. This body is a chariot. It should go in right direction. So this is a chariot. Who is the owner of the chariot? The higher self is the rider, that is Atma. And then this Atma should control the Sarathi, Buddhi, intellect. So he is the charioteer. Intellect is the charioteer. And mind is the symbolically shown reins. And reins should control the senses. Senses are the horse. This is what it is given teaching. What must be our role? What must be the role of Atma? What must be the role of Buddhi? What must be the role of action? So in the light on the path it is said, love inspires the wisdom. Love inspires the will, and will directs the wisdom, and wisdom enables you to act rightly. So this sequence must be followed. And the last slide I would like to focus here. See, universal brotherhood is our first object, and here one experiment is made. These are the drops of mercury. When the drops of mercury are separated and kept on a glass, what is the result? Immediately they are attracted to each other and it becomes one whole. Is it not? So this is how, if our consciousness is pure, if our consciousness are separate, no doubt now, but if our consciousness becomes pure, immediately they come together and form a big whole, one field of consciousness. Human consciousness is one field of consciousness. That is what it is expected. And the second experiment, you separate those mercury balls and spray on it some sand particles. When the sand particles are there, then they won't unite. They can come together, but they cannot be one. That is what it is happening in this Kali Yuga. Even in Theosophical society, we come together. We try our best to work brotherly, affectionately, and to work together. But still we have our own differences, like these sand particles. We are together. So what we can follow, that is what G.S. Arundel said. Together we can work. Try to be together, then it will work. This is what I want to, I have taken more of time, I think, but these three gems are really wonderful gems, and I must thank Vinay, Patri and all Madras Federation and all of you to listen silently. Better you go through these 3 books when you find. Thank you very much. Thank you.
There is an analogy when you have to take an initiative, a work, a project plan is created, which means that a roadmap is created. So, when a roadmap or a project plan is created, we must understand where we are going. All the concepts related to the plan are given to us when we are team members. Then comes the steps, the work breakdown structure as they call, the steps that we need to take to go through that path. So, both the speakers today have given us a roadmap. Dr. Revathy has given us a roadmap talking about the brotherhood, the reincarnation concept, and also the concept of karma. Then that is the roadmap given to us, and then how to go about it, the actual steps. There are a lot of obstacles like our the weaknesses such as falling subjected to certain harishat vargas, that is the weaknesses, which means we are bogged down, we are getting sad or too much of elation. Too much of elation or being sad will actually put roadblocks to our journey in this life. So, both of them have given us wonderful demonstration of what we need to know and how we need to tread that path. So, thank you both the speakers for this wonderful talks today. Now, I would like to invite Geeta, Brother Geeta, to give away tokens of appreciation for both the speakers. Small shawls. Brother Revathy, please. Brother Shinde. Thank you. Thank you, Geeta. So, how many of you are new members here? Can you please, after the vote of thanks, I would like to invite Sukesh to give the vote of thanks. All of you who have raised your hands, please come here and then pick up the book, the Theosophic Life, which we want to gift it to you. Right? So, let me, having said that, let me take leave, but before that I would like to invite our secretary Sukesh to give the vote of thanks.
So, contrary to the normal order, I would like to
Uncle, thank you so much.
thank you so much. First, all the people that come here, especially the new
Very good.
members,
It's okay.
it is because of you that
5 minutes.
we exist, and so I think you would deserve thanks first. Secondly, to the management for giving us this infrastructure for this, and last but not least, speakers.
Yeah,
I don't have the
Yes, I've taken a video.
already he has heard them, and Vinay has already introduced them. So I express my thanks to both the speakers. Thank you very much.
New members, please come forward and then pick up the books.